Lebelo, my friend. Thank
Hello.
you for joining me here today. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for having me. And what were you doing right before this?
Right before this, I was coaching tennis.
There you go. So right into it.
Literally right into it.
So tell us about that business for those who don't know.
My name is Lebelo Tennis. I started a tennis academy in South Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
He goes by Lebelo Tennis Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that involve? It's coaching for who?
Yeah. So it's interesting actually because the whole business changed its model as time went by.
Mm-hmm.
But we coach moms of South Tampa.
Okay. So mothers basically who they have kids. Do the kids do it as well?
Yeah, we have that kids as well in the afternoons.
Okay.
But mostly most people that we train, like I'd say about 95%, they're all just moms.
How did you get into that niche? That's quite niche.
It's very niche. It started off with like 7 moms.
Okay. And
And
how did you
then-
find them?
They found me.
How'd they find you?
I think it's just they found me through just building a reputation around South Tampa.
Okay.
You know, of like, oh, hey, there's Lebelo, he's a tennis coach. And then a few moms, 2 moms approached me and said, hey, we'd like to create a little group of moms. You know, it started off with like, 5 of them. And that was like 3-4 years ago. And it just built up and now we have like 700 of them.
So you've got 700 clients right now.
Basically,
That's insane. So how many classes per week?
classes per week. It all depends because even though they're all 700 clients, doesn't mean everybody's playing,
Right.
right?
At all times, right?
Exactly.
But in the system you've got.
In the system, yeah, we have 700 people. So it's like if anything opens, but we have people that paid 3 months ahead.
Wow.
So that's how our schedule works. People pay 3 months ahead of time. Actually, not pay, commit for 3 months. So every month they make a monthly payment.
Okay.
So basically how that works is if they cannot make it, then they can find somebody else, another mom to sub in.
Ah.
So they never lose money. Right?
And how do they communicate that? Is it like a Facebook
So we
group?
have a Facebook group.
There you go.
And that's, and that Facebook group is run by one of the moms, 2 of the moms actually. And
So the mums found you
Yeah.
based on your reputation, and then they started this Facebook group for you.
Correct.
And they're now doing all the sort of, oh, we got to trade our spot for this month. Are they running marketing for you as well?
Honestly, you don't really need any marketing at that point.
Okay, so tell me about that. Is it all
because-
word of mouth?
Yeah, that's kind of how it all started. Everything has just been basically all word of mouth from the start, you know. And we have a website, so a few people would reach out to us from the outside, but mostly from there, just word of mouth, man.
How do you promote that website? Do you do anything, or it's just there?
So honestly, all we have is just on Google Maps and Apple Maps,
Okay.
and that's it. People will just always find us.
And it's in South Tampa.
It's in South Tampa.
Okay. And so you got to 700 clients. How long did that take you to scale to that level?
I'd say about maybe 3.5 years.
Okay. And was there like,
maybe between 3 and 3.5.
okay. And what would you attribute that rise to? Just good reputation, good product, and then word of mouth marketing?
Yeah, 100%. I think what has really helped us get to where we are, it was making a shift from running a business with like, oh yeah, this is like I'm running a business, to actually turning it into something where it's like, I actually care about these people.
Wow.
You know, this is more than just me running a business.
It's a community.
Yeah, it's a community. Like I know this is crazy, but like I could coach 10 hours for free. I'm passionate about it. I love it so much, dude. I like to see people happy. Like I like to see how people come in and how they live, you know. And I have people be like, they will lose that slot for the week and they're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, man. I need to be back on the court.
Right.
You know, so just even seeing that we're playing like really good vibey music.
Tell me about that, because that's one of the key differentiators that I don't think you really tout as much as maybe you could. But like the music on a few videos that I've seen is very different to the vibes you'd expect at like a South Tampa tennis club,
Right.
and that must make it more fun.
Yeah. So basically, what we also looked at was, okay, most of our clients are part of that yacht clubs, all of these things. So I worked at one yacht club at the beginning, a Tampa Yacht Club.
Okay.
So which really gave me an insight of how the people think, how the people like their lives scheduled and stuff like that. And through that, I learned that a lot of people like, yeah, this is cool. Yacht clubs are cool. It's very nice, very community. But also at the same time, it's kind of boring.
Interesting.
So I was like, okay. And then I watched what people liked about my lessons, and I was like, wait, I can do the same thing duplicated and find more people that can carry the same personality that I have, if not, but even closer to that. And then just duplicate that.
What kind of
music? We like to play Afro beats, man. We love Afro beats, some deep house music.
Okay.
Just all the good vibey music, man.
What's like one track that's like popular or like one of your favorites, like to get the juices flowing, get everyone excited? Because I'm not familiar with the genre.
Yeah. Oh man, I would be lying to you because every day it depends.
Any artist?
Any artist? Yeah. There's there's a lot of artists. There's so many, man. We have like a playlist we play every day, but all those playlists differ. Like sometimes we be like, oh man, we're feeling Afro beats, so we hit some Burna Boy. I
love Burna Boy.
Right? Yeah. So it's like there's never like, oh yeah, this is what we start with and this is what we're doing. Like, because sometimes just walking in early morning, you have to feel the energy first, right? Because we set the tone, how we feeling, we basically set the tone of the environment.
So let's just review on that. So you initially focused on building a customer profile, right? You went to the yacht club, you worked there, you figured out what do these people care about. And then you said, what's also missing from their daily experience, right? It's a little bit bland, it's a little bit stuffy. Right. How about if we inject some flavor? Right?
Yeah.
And that's what they show up for in addition to the exercise, the community, the vibes.
100%.
That sounds like you got a home run, man.
And it's that simple, man. It's literally like I was like, okay, this is what the people want. This is what the people need. And I'm just offer that, And for me, I'm already that, for people that know me on the daily, it's like I'm vibey, dude. Like I like to flow of life, So having to do something like that was so much easier for me because I didn't have to lose myself or become anything else. I basically just became myself. I was like, okay, this is me and I'm just going to do me. Right? And people like the vibe and they come for it.
It's interesting because I was just at a marketing conference this weekend and a lot of people were talking about scaling so that you can fire yourself as the owner from different parts of the business.
Right.
But what you're saying is, I'll play tennis and coach tennis 10 hours a day for free. You don't want to get fired from being a coach. You love that. You want to be involved.
I want to be involved, dude. Like it's almost like right now we have like a few coaches and stuff and I'm still in it, I'm like, even though I coach like maybe like 3 hours every morning and stuff like that.
3 hours a morning?
Yeah. But
that's a lot.
I guess so. But it's like so the thing as well that I like to do is starting early morning like that, I look at it, that's when the sun is coming out. So I really like getting that first sun in the morning. And I get up every morning at 4:30 to work out. So I'm already up, right? So for me, it's more of like, there's something that it does that it fills me, like having to share something about myself because I'm sharing a lot of my energy, so that really fills me up. So I go work out in the morning and then after working out, I go coach tennis and I'm really getting that first sunlight in the morning. That makes me so happy every time.
Huberman would be very happy to hear that. First sunlight.
It's the best, man. So I get that and I'm getting that sharing my passion. It's, oh man, I could do this forever.
I can see how much you love it.
I love it so much, man.
Your morning routine is super important, right?
Very, very,
It's funny because for the audience, where we met was at, shout out to Iceberg Cold Plunge in St. Pete.
Right.
The #1 spot for cold plunge, for sauna, for red light therapy.
Yeah.
And you have a cold plunge at home, right?
I do. I do.
And how often do you do that? And when do you do it?
Oh, man. Let's say never at this point.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to stay on this. This is more of like a revenue kind of growth type podcast, but at the moment, everyone's talking about building business and the importance of a good, healthy body, good habits in order to be successful in this. You like cold plunging, right?
I love cold plunging.
But you don't have the time for it, is that right?
I do have time. I create a lot of time for it.
But you haven't done it in a while.
No. I have the one at my house. Okay. I haven't done it, but I go to a place.
Okay.
Yeah. The one at my house, I don't use it.
Okay.
But I like the idea of going to a place and doing it there, because for me, it's not just about. It's like the gym, you know. Like for me, I have some weights at my house too, you know. But I prefer the idea of actually even just being in the gym and seeing somebody else bigger than me, or seeing somebody else working harder than me.
Right.
You know, it's
the environment.
It's the environment for me.
Sure.
It's the environment. So yeah, I every day I always make sure that there's a time frame where I'm not available, and that's when I'm at cold plunge.
Cold plunge and also gym.
Yes.
In addition to tennis.
In addition to tennis.
So I guess that's one of the questions I had for you is how do you run a successful business like this and stay just absolutely shredded? But it's because of that, right? You're just active all day. I'm active all day, man. And it's a consistency, man. And you're also having to say a lot of no's. You know, I think that's it's funny. We're just talking about that. We were just talking about that.
Yeah. But it's like you have to say no, man.
Right.
You know, you have to say no. A lot of times, like people that no, man, you know. So I talk to my girlfriend Vicky about this all the time. I think it's useful to have an algorithm for that, right? Like just rules. Yeah. If it's this, then yes. Yeah, if it's this, then no. Yes. Do you have any rules like that you can share? I don't think I have any. Okay, so this is a good segue for me because you were saying earlier that you've been invited onto multiple podcasts, and I'm sure everyone can see why. You're a very likable fellow, and you've got a great business. Thank you. Yeah. Why did you say yes to me? We've already talked about this. And like I said, it's actually quite interesting because, like I said, the way my days are very scheduled and the way I allocate my time throughout my day is very, very, very important to me. And with you, man, it's just like we're mad and like you're texting. You know, you were very what's the right word? You can use the word. Yeah, you were in control of the whole, almost like of the whole conversation from the start. You know, we agreed. You were like, yeah, we should do this, and you were like, I was like, yeah. So a lot of times people be like, yeah, let's do that, right? And then they text and be like, you know, like, you know. But then you were just like, hey, man, yeah, well, let's do it. Let's do it. Would you be interested in this? I was like, yeah, sure. That sounds great. Why not? Right. And then after that, your following up was pretty firm. As in like, hey, this time, this place, you know. And I'm like, okay, great. You know. Because we rescheduled once. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then, then our first time, the first time I had to cancel our meetup, that was because something came up, which is very important that I couldn't go. And instead of being like, okay, you let me know when the other time works best for you, that would have never came. Nope. You were like, hey, man, so this time, whatever, does that work? And you're like, great. I was like, okay, let's do it. Time, location, take all the hard work off of you. Just be at this place at this time. And that's literally how my mind works, man. I do so many decisions throughout my day. So if there's something that I don't have to make a decision on, most times I'll be there, you know. And you know, this is after 13 years of being a sales guy, sales leader. You understand that you're trying to make people's life easier. Correct. Because everyone is busy and no one gives a crap about your podcast, your product, your service. Like so true. Everyone has so much going on, man. Yeah. So it's true, like, man. If you make it easy for them to say no to you, that's what they'll do. Yeah. If you make it a no-brainer for them to say yes to you, they'd feel silly saying no. It's that simple, So it's not that my podcast is any better or that you like me anymore. I was just firm. I followed up. Correct, man. Fantastic. I love to hear it. Yeah. That's literally what it was, So listen, what's next for the business? So right now, we've only got 2 tennis courts and we have a lot of people. So we're really trying to find a place where we can grow and build more courts. And we've been having some talks with the city, but it's kind of been very hard, honestly. City of Tampa? Yeah, the city of Tampa. So we're trying to find different ways to get around it. So right now we are in search. Let's put it that way.
Well, let me be an advocate for St. Petersburg because we're just over the bridge. People love to visit from Tampa because we've got the beaches, the laid-back lifestyle. Shout out to Thrive Downtown St. Pete, which is the co-working at which we're doing this podcast.
Right.
What did you say when you came in? It's very vibey.
Yeah.
Very St. Pete.
Yeah, very St. Pete. And it's like I said, man, as a young person, it's one place. I was like, if I had a job, that's the one place I'd be working in, because it's like the people are young, there's music playing, it's friendly, it's
fun.
light. It's light, there's a lot of light around the house, the whole building itself. It doesn't feel like you're stuck in a box.
Have you tried reaching out to the courts at St. Pete or whoever's in charge of that?
Yes, actually, I'm in the middle of sending a proposal. So we're working on it. Yeah,
great.
We're working on that.
And the ability to get more courts.
Yes,
would that 2x your business? What are you projecting that will do for your business in terms of revenue, in terms of customers?
Oh man, that'll be huge, man. Because at the end of the day, man, like our goal is to be able to share as much of what we do, because it is available. There's coaches here, but our style and what we share with the people, it's not anything that's around here. Like it's we're just different, man. Like our vision, the way we roll, the way we move on the court, the way we teach, it's man, I don't even, we just got it, man.
People can't copy that.
Yeah, you can't copy it, man, because it's us, man. We don't fake it. It's just us out there,
How big is the team?
We have 5 coaches.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody, man, just us, man, and we're doing us. We don't copy anyone. We don't know what anybody else is doing.
So how are you gonna run the St. Pete arm if you get those courts? Are you gonna be coming down initially? Are you gonna have to hire more people?
I like to, well, especially when I'm starting something, I like to be the one there at the beginning. Mostly just so I can set the tone, set the vibe.
Quality.
We already got coaches who got the vision.
Okay.
But I really like to be there just to kind of set the standard of like, oh, hey, this is who we are. And this is what we offer. And there's like, and then other coaches that come in and just a duplication of me, basically.
What's a successful 2024 and 2025 to you? Is it more customers? Are you a revenue-focused CEO? Are you interested in profit? Do you care about number of locations? What metrics and what sort of milestones are important to you?
I think, man, it's about how we make people feel, man.
That's awesome.
All the things. I think those are just byproducts, man.
I love that.
It's about when people leave, getting those text messages at the end of the year and being like, wow, you guys made my year, man. I was going through this. But every single time when I came to the courts and interacted with you guys, the energy was always so good. And I think that's what it's all about, man, And I think that's also what's helped us, the business, I think the business just grows by itself, by focusing on the core, being authentic and like sharing yourself with somebody, with people. Literally all our clients think they're the only clients we have.
Right.
Because when you're there, we're giving them our full selves, and I think that's what matters the most to me, man.
So there's a bunch of Silicon Valley CEOs, VCs, all these guys just going, wait a minute, just delight the customer, and then they'll tell wait, what?
Right.
Everyone's overcomplicating.
Yeah. Because like I said, man, like even just how my first business grew was a word of mouth, So it's like, it's very, very important to me. It's like, okay, this person comes in, we give them the all, and they leave, they feel better than they walked in.
How wide would you go with this? How big is the market for this? Because I don't see why this couldn't go nationwide eventually.
Right now, I'm not sure, brother.
That's great. One foot in front of the other.
Yeah. I'm just focused on what's around my I'm rich right now, and I like to say focus on the core.
Okay.
So my eyes are right here right now. I'm looking at my cards.
That's a great business lesson.
Yeah. So I'm just doing controlling what I can control. And like I said, those things, man, just even spreading all of these things, these are naturally gonna come, But I have to focus on what I have going on, what's around me first, and that time, that will come. Yeah.
What could the Tampa Bay, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in St. Pete right now. I don't know if you're aware of the Tampa Bay Innovation Center that just opened up. So you aware of ARK Invest, Kathy Wood, she's a sort of finance mega billionaire. She's got office space down the street at Industrious. She started this kind of like accelerator program, incubator program, where all these startups come in and they get guidance, they get help, they can get funding, they can find co-founders, all that stuff. A lot of entrepreneurship stuff going on in St. Pete, especially at Thrive Downtown St. Pete as well. It's very collaborative. So what do you think could be helpful to you? Would it be introductions? Would it be advisors? Would you be looking to get people on as a board member? Do you need funding? Or are you good?
No, not good at all, man. I think the biggest part would be having to have my own location. Which is what I found to be the biggest thing, because right now with the courts we have, we are basically contracting with the city of Tampa.
And are they exclusively for your use?
Yes.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, it is a huge deal, man. But at the end of the day, I would like very grateful for it, you know. But my goal, even just moving here to St. Pete and doing things in St. Pete, I like to build my own tennis courts.
Okay. So ground up development, you want to build them?
Build tennis courts, man. Like 6 to 8 kind of tennis courts, that's a dream right there.
Where do you think that would be cool?
Anywhere around downtown, man.
Okay.
Anywhere close enough, you know.
Yep.
Anywhere around downtown. Oh, that's it right there, man.
Are there competitors out there in St. Pete and Tampa?
There is competitors, but like I said, man, I don't really worry about what other people do. There are coaches everywhere, you know,
right.
But I just know what we do, man, and
no one has the
about.
secret sauce.
Yeah. I just know what we got, you know. Like I can say within a certain time frame, I know we'll be at a certain place, you know. But I don't really, honestly, I don't. Even right now, even in Tampa Bay, I don't really know any competitors. They are there, but I don't. Yeah, they can touch me if they want. I always hear some clients who come in who have played somewhere and be like, oh, yeah. Do you know this guy or that guy? I'm like, I really don't know anyone. They're like, oh, they knew all of this about you. And I'm like, oh, great.
Interesting.
But I don't, like, and they will talk about other coaches. I'm like, great, but like, I change the conversation, you know, like I prefer to, like I said, I like to focus on what I can control, what's inside, man.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Where did you get all this great business wisdom and philosophy from? Because you seem to have it all figured out. Is it just a really cool, calm face, but inside you're crazy and you're trying to figure it out and everything's on fire like every other entrepreneur? Or did you have like a mentor, or like do you read books? Because to me, it seems like you got everything figured out, man, and it's impressive, and that's why I wanted you on the podcast. That's
a great question, brother. So the business things, man. When I was 7 years old, right, I used to sell oranges by the side street, you know, and the business was good, you know. But then I figured that out. You know what, man? Like, this is at 7 years old, man. I was like, I can make more money by going into offices. So like right now I come into Thrive and I'm like knocking door to door. Hey guys, I'm selling oranges. It's pretty hard to deny a 7-year-old selling oranges. You know?
Where was this?
Back in Lesotho, where I'm from.
Lesotho is where you're from.
Yeah. Okay. So I would sell oranges, and then on the profit I would buy myself tennis shoes so I can play tennis.
You're joking.
Yeah.
So you've been into tennis for that long.
Yeah.
And how did you get into tennis? Did you see it on TV, one of the big Grand Slam tournaments?
Man. So I basically used to be a swimmer. And there is this place. There used to be a swimmer, and one time they started charging us like 5 cents, right? And I went home, man. I was so disappointed because I was really enjoying it. I went home and I told my dad, I was like, yo, Dad, like, they're charging us 5 cents to swim now, you know? And he's like, oh, well, go play soccer.
He's like, figure it out.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not paying for you to play sports. You know, I pay for your education, not sports.
Kicking a soccer ball is free.
Exactly. So then I stopped and I went to go play soccer. And soccer was just not for me, mate. Like, it was really not for me. And one day my brother came back with some tennis balls back home and started selling them in my village. And I was like, what?
Had you seen tennis balls before that?
I had seen tennis balls, but it wasn't like anything like crazy to me though. Because at the time, to make extra money as well, I would so I would go into these big trash cans, like, you know, these big metal trash cans and stuff. So I'd go in there and search for a bunch of copper, you know, things you can wear, you know, the recycling stuff. Yep. So I'd get in there. I'd be so dirty at the end of the day, man, stinky. Like, but I would get in there, man, and like find like some metal stuff, but copper though. And then go to this place where they recycle things, and you weigh them, and then you make like whatever, maybe $1.50, and then you go back and you buy some lunch, you know. And that was a killer day, man.
And this is how old?
Man, I was about 7 or 8 at that time.
So you've been hustling all this time. How old are you
now? My whole life. I'm 28 since 3 days ago. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow. So just been grinding, man. And then
it's kind of like, well, it's funny because I always love the statistic of 80% of the, Fortune 500 CEOs started off with sales. And it sounds like selling oranges, flipping copper from trash cans. Sales has just been part of your DNA for the longest time.
Yeah. And I used to, this is a funny one, right? So my mom was jobless at one point for a very long time. And my dad made $80 to support a family of 5. You know, it was not enough. So my mom started selling cloths, you know, like the cloth that you put on the curtains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but she had a business on the side street by like a traffic light, you know.
Selling
cloths, like the curtains, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she would actually make more money when I'm there. So I would take like, you know, the little mic, the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that they use was like soccer games or whatever. Like it's open at the front and you speak through it.
Like those sound horn, the megaphone.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd be sitting over there, man, and I'd be speaking through it, and I'm calling people, man. Like, I used to love it, man. Like,
I can see that.
Man. Like, I used to love it, man. So I'd just be there calling everybody, and people like come in and just come to check, and I'm there walking past. I'm like, hey, come on in, and stuff like that.
That's like the original form of marketing.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Old school.
Man, I would even walk up to those people too and be like, oh, come check over here. We got some good stuff for you. You know, go to a taxi rank.
That's
the taxi where people are like waiting for taxis.
Yep.
And then come on. Or just carry the stuff and be like, hey, this is what I got. This is what I'm selling.
And that just came out of necessity.
Came out of necessity, man. We had to put some food on the table, you know.
That's amazing.
And it just came so natural for me, man. I really enjoyed it, you know. It wasn't, I never overthought anything. I was just like, yeah, you know, my mom would buy us lunch, you know. So I'd eat better lunch actually working with her
that was
than
your
at home.
Yeah. That was like how those tech companies have like free sodas and ping pong tables.
Exactly.
You were incentivized by the lunch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, we get bread, like a loaf of bread. And there's this place right next where we used to sell. So the bread would be hot, right?
Oh,
It'd be nice and warm. And then my mom would buy us a bottle of milk.
Okay.
Oh, man, killer lunch.
Best lunch.
Killer
milk
lunch.
And bread.
Oh, man, killer.
Do you have that now?
No.
It's done.
Yeah, those stages are done, man.
That's done.
But I'd still enjoy it if I get it.
What's your favorite thing to go and eat for a celebration or something? Did you go out for your birthday?
So actually, unfortunately, I got sick. But I've always had like a routine in the past. Man, I'd say for the past maybe ever since I remember, except for this year, I guess. But every year, my parents, so here's the thing. Eating KFC back home, it's a flex, dude.
That's like, a treat, right?
Yeah, you're like, woo, I'm killing it.
Whoa.
You know, this is it, you know? So you'll take a girl out to KFC. That's how.
Really?
Oh, man.
Still till today?
Oh, yeah.
KFC is like, I'm killing it. Look at me with my branded Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Yes, it was so funny. Actually, this is recently. My mom, we let somebody come stay at our house for a few days because they were struggling, blah, blah, blah.
Where's this?
Back in Lesotho.
Okay.
And after she left, it was a while ago, and then we started looking at like cleaning the house, and my mom was so pissed because she found a box of KFC, you know, she's like, she's eating good alone.
So that's still seen as a good.
Oh man, it's huge. My mom always complained about my brother. It's like, yeah, that one, he's eating good. He eats KFC alone, you know.
Wow. And she wants some.
Yeah, because we share everything.
That's amazing.
You know? So it's still a big thing.
Yeah.
Man, you know.
Who's back home still?
Everybody. I'm the only one here.
And when did you move out here?
I moved to America in 2015.
Interesting.
But I left home when I was like 13 years old.
And what motivated that?
To leave home?
No, to come to the States.
To come to the States. I was in South Africa, man. And actually, I got a tennis scholarship when I was like 18 years old to South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like...
So that's how you went from Lesotho to South Africa?
Yeah. So then...
and you were playing for like what, a college or something?
Like a high school team.
Like a high school team.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I was over there, I just kind of learned that I was pretty good, man. I was really good. I was very competitive. I really enjoyed the sport.
Did you ever want to go pro?
100%. Play some professional tournaments, but it's just tough to make it, man. Tennis is the hardest sport to make it, especially financially. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not financially solid, you won't make it. Like, no matter, even if you had sponsors, they can only take you so far.
Yeah, you don't. It's not a big like blue collar type.
Sport. No. So that's how I learned that actually at a younger age, and I was like, okay, you know what, man? Like, I can see how hard it is to try to make it. How about the next step, making it to college tennis? You know, get a degree and like live at a different continent. You know, and posted a YouTube video, and the coaches reached out to me. And
wait, you posted a YouTube video when? This is 2000.
No, maybe like 2014.
Okay. And then coaches found you from where?
From YouTube, on YouTube. So coaches, like American colleges, like the coaches are looking on YouTube for like the latest videos of kids. Like people submit videos, and if the coach likes how the kid plays and like the rankings,
YouTube,
then
man.
they're like, that's the one. Yeah.
So then what? They reached out to you?
So honestly, like for most people, they reach out to them. But for me, they never did. So I had to reach out to them.
How did you know that they had seen your stuff?
Because what I would do is... So this is another thing that's crazy for people.
You got an interesting look on your face just now. This is going to be good.
Yeah. So a lot of people, even when they're back home, they want to come play college tennis, right?
Okay.
But here's the thing, man. Like, it's hard to actually come play college tennis. You have to be really, really good. If you're just good, it's not good enough, right? So, for me, myself, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I sent over 500 emails. Over 500. I maybe got like, maybe 10 replies.
And you're reaching out to?
The school. So, I went online and I was like, okay, NCAA, Division I schools, all of America. And I would send them everybody an email. Send every single one of them an email. Send email.
Prospecting, follow-up outreach.
Yes, sir. I got like about 10, 11 replies. And actually, I got admitted to a school, but then they found out that I had played some professional tournaments. And the NCAA, at the time, I don't know now, but they didn't allow me to do that. So I had to do junior college.
Okay.
And I ended up somewhere in like Kansas.
Okay.
And this was so funny, man. I literally showed up in this country with like $20 in my pocket.
Whoa.
Like $20. And I went to the wrong airport too. This was the funniest story ever, man. Yeah. I like showed up, came into America. So, okay, man, I'm jumping all over. But
that's fine.
When I was back home, before I came to America, right, I had to raise money to pay for my flight to come here.
Damn, man.
So, I actually went back to the same people that I used to sell oranges to, like the buildings and stuff like that. But unfortunately, none of them could really help me because it's a lot of money.
You still knew them all?
Oh, yeah.
They'd seen you grow up and play tennis?
So many of them could remember me because they see me printed on your newspaper, you know. So, but I went back and I tried to get some money, but it didn't work. But my country, we are called the Kingdom of Lesotho. So we still have a king.
Okay.
So actually, I went to the king and I asked for the king to...
Whoa. You prospected and reached out to the king of Lesotho.
The king of Lesotho, yeah.
How did you find his info?
So actually, my dad works for the king. You know, even though he's on the lower part, but he works for the king.
Okay.
So he's somehow sort of... he's like, hey, man, he's here. you know. So like just came in. I'm like, hey man, like this is me. Like I got a tennis scholarship in America.
So you talked to him.
Oh yeah.
You had an audience with the king of Lesotho, and then asked for funding to come to America.
Yes, and it was. You know what, man? Jumping as well. There was no better feeling that's ever filled me that much. I'll show you a photo of me and him when I was last home, and he gave me about like 15,000. I mean, he booked the flight for me, and it was such a good feeling when I went back last December, and went back. I mean, in rent was like 250,000, and that's like maybe like 12 times the amount that he gave me, and all of that money, man, gave it back to the country. Did a lot of charity work, like. It was crazy.
You just gave back to the community, so you're doing charitable stuff.
A lot. So
and you paid back the initial flight money.
He didn't want to take it.
He didn't want to take it.
Yeah, he was just like, hey man, pass it on. So I just literally just went out there, man, helped so many families.
What an incredible story, man. I knew you were a good dude. I didn't know you were this good of a dude, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, so it was...
it must feel so rewarding to be able to do that at this point from the humble beginnings of flipping oranges and stuff.
Right, and it was just some of those things. Like, I literally lived with myself. Before I left, I was like, man, when I go home, I want to be somebody that I wish I would have met when I was that young, you know. So I basically went back, did tournaments, man, fed a lot of families, and like... provided like sanitary products for women, like lots of things, man. And
I bet the country of Lesotho is so proud of you right now.
I would like to believe so.
How many people don't go back to where they're from and don't sort of pay it forward and inspire the next generation? How many people do that? Most.
Yeah.
And you're going back, you're buying people KFC, sanitary products.
Right.
You never lost touch of where you're from.
No, you just can, man. Like those people helped me get here, man. There's this thing where it's like, which is something I found really hard here in America, kind of like adjusting to. I never want to adjust to America. Like I find that maybe just my circle and the people around me, but it's very individualistic.
It is.
You know, it's like I'm self-made. I'm like, I am not even close to self-made, and I feel like I'm doing a lot of things. You know, like it's like people around me are the people that are helping me. You know, that's why even when you hear me talk about the tennis business, I never said I. It's always we. You know,
that is true.
Us, we do this, we do that. Yeah, because it's not me. Like we doing stuff. You know,
but that is such humility that a lot of founders and CEOs and owners do not have. Right, and that bragging about being self-made. First of all, it's BS.
Right,
no one is self-made.
Yeah,
everyone gets help. Everyone gets assistance.
We all do, man. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't be here in America if the king didn't pay for my flight. You know, wouldn't be here in America if that one coach from Kansas, Coach Greg Owen, wasn't ever like, oh, dude, you know what? Come to America. I'm not going to give you a scholarship. You have 1 year to prove yourself. Literally no scholarship, nothing. Just walked in, $20. Didn't know anybody, a continent away, all the way in the middle of Kansas. I was like, I'm going. And
how did you make things work? Like, how did you pay for life?
So basically what happened was the school charged your account at the end of the semester.
Okay.
Which really helped.
So you have that time to make that money.
Yeah. And man, like I think a lot of times as well with life is we have a lot of options, you know. Dude, I came in like when school started, I had like maybe like what, $7. Wow. You know, and I had my back against the wall, brother.
And that's when you perform, right?
That's when you perform, man. When you have no plan B. I was like, I'm not going home. And even if I want to go home, I told the king was like, when do you want me to book a return? I told him, book a one way. I'll come back when I'm ready. So I'm over here. I'm like, I've got nothing. I can't even call my mom to ask for help. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, whatever happens, I have to make it work.
So you burn the boats.
Yeah.
There's no way out. There's no way back.
Yeah. The only way out of this, I have to succeed. I have to make it. Like, it doesn't matter how I make it, but I have to make it, man.
It's interesting when I hear these stories of true grit, which is what it is, right? Just hustle. It's either people who ended up with their back against the wall, and then there's a rare breed of people who just put themselves in that position. It's like, I'm going to go do it and I have to do it. There's no safety net.
That's the thing, man. I think when you don't have, that's what I always say, man. Like, I probably had on some videos, but when I came in, I was like, you know what, man, I got plan A. You know, I got plan A. There is no plan B, C, D, or E. The moment that I try to have plan B, that's going to distract plan A. So I'm just sticking to plan A, and that's it.
And it's your 100%.
I'm going all in. That, man, just even with the tennis, when I started the tennis, I was like, this is plan A.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's nothing else. I'm not going to go find a job somewhere else. If I can make my monthly rent, hey, you know what? Too bad. But this is plan A. And I will perform, dude. When I got here, literally, I would get like maybe one client a week when I arrived here because I didn't know anybody as well in Tampa Bay. I would literally, let me tell you how I build my clients, okay?
Tell me, yes.
I would, there's a bunch of parks around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I didn't even have a car. So I used to ride a bicycle, right? And I put a bunch of tennis balls in my bag. And at the time, my girlfriend, she would let me use her car, but she also needed it for work. So sometimes it's just be riding a bicycle, man, with a bunch of balls in the back on my shoulder, driving from all these different parks. And I would get there and I see people playing, right? And I'm like, they're not good. It's very rare you find really good players.
Easy prospect.
Yeah. So I go there and I wait a little bit and I go over to them like, hey guys, man, my lesson just canceled on me. Would you guys like a free tennis lesson?
Genius.
And everybody always be like, yes, we'll take a free tennis lesson. And that lesson, man, I'll be giving 110, brother. 110%, you know, and it's like, oh, we'd like to do it again. And I'm like, oh, great, here's my number. You know, and that's how I build a tennis academy.
You would ride your bike around, and you would look for people who are playing tennis.
Exactly.
Usually not very good because who is good at tennis?
Exactly, yeah.
You'd offer them a free lesson.
Yep.
You'd crush that lesson.
Best you could do. Give it my best. 200%.
Right. And then they would just go, well, why wouldn't we do this?
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny because there's some clients that are still, every so often they reach out just to check on me or just to come to the place. Nice. And some people said no to me, right? A lot of people said no. I had so many more no's, obviously. Like people were like, oh yeah, we'll do the lesson.
What's the percentage, would you say?
Of people that never continued the lesson after that?
How many free lessons do you think you gave away versus ones that converted into a long-time customer?
I'd say percentage-wise, I gave her at least 94%, and 6% said yes.
6% said yes.
Yeah. And that's all I needed, man.
And that's all you needed.
If I get 1 yes a week, dude, or somebody wants to do a lesson once a week, dude, that would be like a dream. That's all I wanted. That was my goal. I'm like, man, I just need one. I would wear the courts, man. Like, I'm like, I just need one a week.
I think that sales mentality of like, this is the top of the funnel. We've got 100 opportunities to sell.
Right.
We're giving away free stuff. We're spending our valuable time.
Yes.
If we get one yes, it's worth it.
That's it.
That people are starting to forget that, especially with like easy video marketing, taking out ads and stuff. Just spray and pray. It's like, no, dude. You can just walk around. Every business in St. Pete, knock on the doors. Someone's going to say yes.
Somebody's going to say yes. And I think all businesses are different, but offering, like for me, I was offering myself for free. You know, I was like, hey man, I would get 1 hour. I'll give you this tennis lesson for free, you know, and
well, you believed in your product.
I believe in my product, man. I knew it was good, man.
Was the goal, so when you were in Kansas, was the goal to be a tennis coach and have an academy, or was it to be a pro player, or maybe a combination?
Honestly, man, when I was still in Kansas, I wanted to do something with business, you know, but I didn't know what it was going to be.
What was your degree?
So when I left Kansas, because it was a 2-year, I got economics degree. So then I moved to Tallahassee and I went to Florida A&M. And over there, I'm still continuing my economics degree, but I did an internship in an office, and I was just like, there's no way. This is just not me. I can't do it. And
can you talk about that a little bit? How it felt being in an office environment?
Yeah, like my whole life, man. Like I've been hustling out in the streets, man. I've been moving around. I've been running around. I've been doing life outside, you know. So, And I've just been through tennis. I traveled my whole life. I was playing tennis for hours and hours, like out there, you know. So having to just be sitting down, being steady for me just didn't work, you know. I got to a point where I was just really not happy.
So it was the inside aspect. How much of it was also just like listening to someone else's direction and like their vision? And
I mean, I feel like I already got that from school, because that's what school was for me at the time. Obviously, like, oh yeah, 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, then this and that. You know, that was basically from school anyway.
mm-hmm.
But so that kind of felt more like I'm still at school. You know, even from tennis as well. When I'm playing college tennis, the coach tells you what they want you to play, like what you need to do. So I'm really good at following instructions. And
That's
like,
great.
But the hardest part was just me just sitting down, buddy, and like doing something and just like kind of not seeing, like, okay, what am I doing? Like, you know, like right now what I'm doing, it's like a service. It's like I'm giving myself, and I see what people feel, how people feel, like all of these things. But that just didn't fill me up, brother. It didn't fill my cup, man. You know,
Filling your cup's important, because that's what you'll stick with, right?
Thank you, man. Yeah. So that's when I was just like, man, this is not it. So then I started trying to think. Actually, it's funny. I have a little picture when I was in college. So then I actually moved to Mississippi and in college, and I have a picture that says, oh man, this is actually quite funny.
Yeah, let's see.
I have yeah, it's a picture, but on my key tag, the girl that I used to see at the time, she made keys for me, right?
Okay.
And
keys, or like the sleeve that goes on it? Oh,
yeah, a key
chain.
tag.
Okay.
And hey, let me see if I can find it. Okay. But she made this key tag for me, like literally when I was still in college, like third year. But it says Lebelo Tennis Academy, basically, with my phone number in it.
And this is before it existed?
Way before.
Can I see?
Yeah, right there. So basically, this is way before the Tennis Academy even existed. But I was already speaking of it, right?
Can I show the camera?
Yeah. Mind the lady part. That was our nickname.
Yeah, forget that bit.
Because that's what I call it.
Don't Google that for the business.
But
and this was what year?
So that was about 2017 to 2018
In Mississippi.
in Mississippi.
And when did the academy become what it is today? When did it start in Tampa Bay?
I started in Tampa Bay in 2019.
So 2 years
September 2019.
after that sort of subliminal messaging went in your mind,
Yes, just
subconsciously, just Lebelo Tennis Academy.
Yes,
Lebelo Tennis
literally
Academy.
over and over.
So you believe in that?
Yeah, I believed in it, man. You know how in the college dorms you have like everybody has like I had a roommate, dude. On a piece of paper, on a big piece of paper, I had the name, man. Lebelo Tennis Academy. I had it right there. I'm a college student, man. You
That's
know, before I go to
incredible.
bed, I would see it, man. I would vision it. Like I had it. I had it all, man.
You know who that reminds me of? Was it, I'm going to butcher this. Was it Jim Carrey who wrote himself the $10 million movie check? It was an actor. I'm sorry if it wasn't. There was an actor, and he was like broke all the time. And he wrote himself a check for $10 million from a movie production. He's like, one day I'm going to get this check. And it happened.
Wow.
It's that law of attraction. It's that secret type stuff. And people to this day are sort of skeptical of it. But every time I've written something, for me, it's a whiteboard.
Yeah.
Well, I have a whiteboard. I always have to have a whiteboard. I write down everything, the goals.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget about it. I go through tough times. You forget it, whatever. 3 years later, you go, damn, it happened.
Yeah, 100%.
I wasn't even looking for it.
100%. It's like kind of getting your mind, man, getting in this energy field, you know, of being like, all right, this is what I want and this is the route that I'm taking. You're kind of opening yourself to all these opportunities as well, right? Like along the way was everything exactly what I imagined, not even close. Like there were so many curves, man.
The journey was different.
Oh man, it was exactly different from it was so opposite from what I had anticipated. Which is why sometimes I started looking at that. I'm like, man, I don't know about this whole thing with business plans, man. I think business plans are only for big businesses, you know? But if you're like a small business and you come to me and you're like, oh, dude, I have this perfect business plan.
Yeah.
You're going to fail. I'm
100%.
sorry. Like, you know, it's like for big businesses, it makes sense, you know? But if you're just a small business oh man, just get out in the sharks, man. Go swim with the sharks, and you're gonna
Hand to
figure it
hand
out. You
combat.
have to go in. You have to experience, man. You gotta feel things, you know. But from a plan, nah. Let's.
I feel like even big business and like I always think about these pitch decks that people put together to raise investment.
Right.
And it's like, we know that that's not going to be the company at
Right.
the end. We know that it's going to look totally different.
Right.
But here's $1 million anyways.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, even in those things, man, I'm like, this is great, you know. But I think even sometimes, even approaching investors, like with where we are right now, I'm like, okay, I've built this business with what we have right now, up to a point we have 700 clients. You know, I've proved myself, you know, and this is why I'm heading. Would you please give me a hand for me to keep helping more people?
So you would seek investment at this point?
Yes. You see, because then I'm like, okay, I've done the work myself. You know, I've proven. Look at me, man. You know,
You've got the proof.
Started with nothing, completely nothing. You know, I didn't know anybody. I came here and I've done it. So it's like almost like, what's the reason not to believe in me?
We're gonna write a pitch deck for you. As a thank you for you coming on this podcast, I'm gonna write a pitch deck with you. We're going to put all the numbers to it. And then you can go in the meeting and say, this is bullshit. It's never going to end up happening. The journey is going to be totally different. But give me the money anyway. And it's going to happen because people believe in your story, Lebelo.
Right. Thank you, man.
They believe in you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I mean, listen, you watch these Shark Tank episodes, all of this stuff. It's because of the founder. It's because of the person who's the lightning rod that will make this stuff happen no matter what.
Right.
And I believe it, man. I'm getting a transfer of energy from you right now.
Thank you.
Full self-belief in myself, but also belief in you that you're going to make this a behemoth.
All right. Thank you, man. I think at the end of the day, man, that's something that I've also learned through time as well. You know, in any success, I think, and just really being part of like the society, you know, there is no, we need, like everything that I do, like even me just sharing this information about myself, a lot of it all had to do, all came from my deepest authentic self, man. You know, I think that's the number one energy. You know, doing something from your full authentic self, you know. And
I think when it's your true authentic self, the energy just regenerates every single day.
100%.
Whereas when you're faking it, it's effort.
Exactly. So that's why it's like some businesses fail, because it's like, well, I'm not going to work 14 hours because it's not your full authentic self. But if you're full authentic self, you can do 16 hours.
It all comes down to what will you do for free for the rest of your life.
Literally.
And still consider it a win.
Literally, man. That's exactly what. That's it right there.
I love it.
Yeah, that's it right there, man. Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I feel like I could talk to you for hours, but we're coming up on the end of it. Is there I think there's a couple of people that are probably going to want to reach out to you after this episode. The cat's out of the bag. Lebelo's now on the map, big time, in St. Pete especially. Where can people reach you? Can they follow you on Instagram, on Twitter?
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram. Our name is Lebelo.
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 Okay.
Lebelo Tennis Club.
Lebelo Tennis Club on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah.
Okay.
And they can reach out on Facebook as well. My phone number for tennis lessons, obviously.
It's on there, yep.
Yeah. It's over there as well, but that will be 620-621-1270.
And does that go straight to you?
Yeah, he does.
You just put your number out there. Guys, he's probably going to say no. You have to be persistent like me. Now everyone's taking notes. This is how I get him. You just got to be firm, give the details, and maybe he won't say no.
Right. I'm open to things, man.
I love it. You got to be open. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
You, man. Yeah, thank you.
This has been fun.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah.